Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It is time for art. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today is Monday. If you look at your calendars, you'll know that today is a Go Beyond Draw Day. We've got a really fun drawing prepared for you guys today. Allison has it prepared, and we're going to do a whole journey through the islands, underwater, all that stuff. She'll go into it later, but it's a really fun day. So we're going to be doing the Hula Girl. And if you guys, let me grab this real quick. This is the vellum template that you're going to want to use today. So if you want to grab this one right now from your box kit and start tracing it with your graphite paper or whatnot, you could get ahead of the game. So go ahead and start that if you'd like. And before we get started, as always, we'd like to remind you guys that your guys' participation on the social media, on all the little social media webs that we have, we have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. I'm sure I'm missing one right now, but we've got them all. And your guys' participation there really helps our community grow. And we've already grown. I think this month we've got 3 new subscribers. So we just want to say hey to you guys. For any of you guys that are new out there, just to remind you that for these live streams, they happen twice a week. So we'll meet 8 times a month. And you guys are welcome to come and join us on these Monday and Wednesday night courses, or you could do your art on your free time whenever you like. You don't have to show up to these if you don't like, if it's not in your schedule. And also every single project that we do it's self-contained. You don't need to worry about, did I finish the last one before starting the next one or whatnot. There's no one's grading you or critiquing you in that sense. So, have a good time with it. This should be fun, and you shouldn't worry about time management or finishing a project or whatnot. That being said, if you want to go back and finish a project that maybe you didn't finish the night we did it, all of our videos, the second that we finish with our live streams, they become available on YouTube and Facebook. So you could go back on a Saturday morning and rewatch a video, pause, rewind, and do that sort of thing as you're sitting at your breakfast table, doing the finishing touches up on a work that you need to finish. So please have a good time with this. Don't stress about any sort of schedule. Without further ado, one more thing I want to say is that if you are here tonight on our live stream, don't forget that we don't know that you're here unless you interact with us in the comment section. So please, if you haven't already, go to the comment section now, say hello to me and Allison, or say hello to your other artists in the community, whatever you like to do. And would love to hear from you. So let's bring Allison on and say hello to our resident artist, Allison Crary. Hi, Al.
Wow, hello, Hershey. And yeah, we are so excited about this week with our dancing dashboard hula. What is it called?
Yeah, I got it right here. It was the where is she? The dancing hula girl. Wait, the dancing hula girl doll. Dashboard was in it. I forget. Okay.
There's dashboard. You'll figure it out. Don't worry. So this is the one we're gonna paint, and we're gonna do it in our books. I wanted to show you though with I'll leave her right here. With our books this month and with our theme, and we got so many transfers this month, our templates. I kind of planned sort of a progression. And so I just wanted to show everybody what I'm kind of planning here. I painted a lot of pages. So we did kind of our sketches in the beginning. And then, so those are those 2. But I kind of wanted Hershey to kind of start with a postcard that kind of sets, maybe I'll say island progression or something like that in my banner coming from the plane. And then I kind of wanted to show him at the tiki bar, and I was it was sun outside, but then it was kind of dark and mysterious in the tiki bar. So I've kind of got these planned for in here. Nice. And then it gets even darker. It's getting dark out. Maybe the message in the bottle's there, and this kind of inspires an adventure. And then the sun's kind of coming up again. So I've got the sunglasses kind of planned for this one, and the flowers, and then I had the flip-flops. I thought I had the flip-flops on separate pages. That was kind of my idea here. They were stepping into something.
Yeah.
Next. And then maybe you should some shells on the sand. And then this is kind of where the sand meets the water. That's kind of how I did that. And this is all going to be underwater, and I don't have any templates for this. So I'm just going to kind of figure out what I want to put underwater. Maybe some whales, maybe a shark or two. I don't know, but that's, I kind of wanted to explore underwater.
Okay.
And then you kind of are coming back up, and I think I'm going to do the island on here. This is kind of where I did some water. And then once you're on the island, I've got some pages for that. We're going to have our hula dancer. So that's just kind of how I'm doing my sketchbook this month. I know Hershey and I said we were going to try and do every page. If you're doing every side of every page, that becomes a very big challenge. So we'll see how well I do on that. But
yeah.
Don't worry about it. But yeah. So anyway, so I just wanted to set everyone up. If this is your first time doing this, this is how the vellum template works. You put down a vellum template. I cut mine to size. Okay. And you tuck your graphite paper, sticky, shiny, waxy side down. You're going to tuck that right underneath your outline. And then with a pencil or a pen or whatever you've got, just start applying, I'd say minimal pressure onto your template. And we're going to trace all the way around. And then I've got a corresponding photograph in the exact same position with lighting. I think we're going to use all the colors today except blue.
Okay.
So kind of keep that in mind. And Hershey did all this fantastic research on the dancing dashboard dancer.
Absolutely, we did. You know, that we were trying to figure out what the history was behind the hula girl dashboard dancer, and we found out that in the 1920s and 30s, some of the earliest dolls were made out of bisque or redware, which is a clay, and they had real cloth garments on, you know, and the bra and the hula skirt, and some of those original ones that are made by the local artists back in the 1920s in Hawaii, those are the most sought after today. And they really do resemble the one that Allison has there that she did this drawing from, which is kind of neat. And they don't resemble at all the one that I had of a male hula dancer on my dashboard in high school. So that's not what they look like at all. So, and then in the 50s, there was a revival of it because of after World War II, and then it just became part of Americana pop culture when the California surfers started putting them on the front of their surfboards and on their VW buses and stuff like that.
So part of island culture, part of surfer culture.
Yeah.
Little bit of kitsch, rooted in history. Bisqueware means unfired clay. And so, yeah, if you've got something from the 20s that's unfired clay, that's really kind of cool. It's made it a long time.
Allison, a special hello to you came from Ruth Crary. She wanted to make sure that she.
Hello, Ruth. Thank
yes.
you so much for joining us.
And I also want to say hi to, we got Michelle and Lori and Caroline. And I'm sure we have Julie out there. Let's see, Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl. Oh, you know what? Actually, we were going to do that. We wanted to give a shout out to some of you who have been just really super active in the subscriber group. If you haven't already, please join our subscriber group. I'll put the link in the comments along with our other social media links. But we want to say a big shout out to Patty Such, who was a first time sharer, Al. She did a great job.
It's so cool with the tiki bar.
And then Cheryl is always putting out great work. So thank you so much, Cheryl. We loved what we saw in the subscriber group from you.
Michelle had a really nice post with some botanicals and
yep, she did. And then remember we saw the one, sorry to interrupt, but Jill Crary. I'm sorry, she put a photo of was it flowers done by Dolly, Salvador Dali, and like. Yes. I just wanted to say, guys, like, that's what the subscriber group is for. It's for putting your own work up there. It's for sharing inspirations that maybe from other artists or photos that you might have taken. So thank you so much for you guys and adding content to our community.
All right, so I've got to make my marks here darker, or I can try and
Oh, yeah, yeah.
not really helping a whole lot. That's okay though. I can just
Okay.
darken this stuff up. Give me a second. And again, this is just how I did my sketchbook. Does not mean by any means this is how you want to do yours. But I just kind of saw this sort of light narrative, like these are all the adventures of the island. And we're going to kind of blend the transition. All right, Hershey, can you see these? How are these coming?
Yeah, I can see them. I can see them.
All right, so that's this. Everyone kind of knows what the skirt's doing.
Yeah. Oh, and also Melinda. We have Melinda Chua. She's also on.
Fantastic. Thank you for saying hi.
Melinda.
All right, so I now have my transferred. I'll leave this here in case we want it back for whatever reason. I'm not sure we're going to need it back this time. I say that now. Get kind of organized here. I get out my palette and I'm going to put some white in the middle.
Starting off that white.
Yes. And we are going to work with our yellow, our burnt sienna, and our magenta. So the first one we're going to use is our lemon yellow. And I'm going to drop in a little bit of burnt sienna. And I'm going to start mixing. And I also think we are, watch, I moved it, going to almost exclusively use our small brush on this side. So we are going to mix up our flesh tint. And I'm going to drop in some of my white here. And there we go with that. So I'm going to call that our medium tone. It's not going to be our highlights, and it's might even be our shadows. Okay, so then I'm going to take some of this, drop it in here. I'm actually going to make that our medium tone. So just added white to that again. And then we're going to do the same thing over here, and this will be for our highlights.
Where is my white?
All right, everybody got them? Let's paint. So with our medium tone, and this was made out of burnt sienna and yellow and white, I'm just going to kind of paint in all of the places you see some skin. Just like this. And I'm working on a painted page. Yours is certainly going to look different. If you're on a white page. You won't believe how fast it comes together. What's that?
That tone you used, was that like half and half, or was that more white than the sienna?
So I mixed this one at first and added some white. And then I took this and added even more white to it in the middle.
Okay.
And I can do it again. Let me paint this in, and I can demonstrate. All right, so let's see. We are.
Oh, is there a way to keep the palette on the screen?
Yes, and I am sorry we didn't do that before. We're gonna keep it right here.
Good.
Please always tell us that.
Yeah, thank you.
We have different stuff, different nights. So we're base coating our dancer here with our medium flesh tone.
I was thinking about getting creative with her bikini bra and maybe doing something different, but those polka dots are cute.
Any color, always the way to think. How can I mess this up or change it or
Yeah.
envelope and she's kind of got Flintstone feet. Kind of like blocks. All right. And I'm just going to kind of second coat this too. I'm still getting a lot of green through mine. But in the event that you didn't paint your page green, you're probably not having that problem.
I had a hula dancer that was he was solar powered, and he played some Hawaiian music when he shook his little hips.
How adorable.
Right?
All right, so this is coming in a little bit more opaque now. Just like that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wash out my brush. Blot it, kind of dry it off, and then sharpen it. We talk about sharpening your brush. You kind of squeegee out the water and you find your point. Just like that.
There it is.
Right. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reach for our darker tone.
Allison, in my transfer, I can't tell if there's legs showing through the skirt or not. Did you find skin in the skirt?
There are not.
Okay, perfect.
So don't worry about it. All right, so I'm going to look for, we're going to pull over this. Pull this guy over right here. And I'm going to try and get the glare. And it does that. Telling Hershey about my love-hate relationship with this lamp. It's a great lamp, but you shake the table. Does a good job until it doesn't. Stay. There we go. Okay. So we're going to find all the dark areas on this form. So underneath the jaw, in this kind of armpit area, underneath the ribs, and kind of in the sternum bone area right here, on this side of the arm, on the side of the arm as well, and kind of right at the feet. So the light's coming from up here onto the dancer, and we're going to put in our shadows next. So I'm going to start with underneath the jaw. So find your chin right here. Come around this way.
And what are you using there? What color there?
Our darker color that we mixed.
Yeah.
So that's coming in here. So a little bit of the shadow on this side. Catch this, the neck is definitely in shadow. Underneath the hair right here has a little bit of the shadow. Underneath the nose right here. The side of the eyes. around this way, just like that. The armpit area in here, underneath here, around here like this. Underneath the ribs right here. All of this is in shadow. Just like this. This kind of entire arm is actually in shadow.
If my darker shade wasn't as dark as I want it to be.
That's okay. We're gonna go back in.
Okay,
Good
gotcha.
question. We're gonna go back in. Along this edge right here. And then the side of this foot and the tops of these guys from the skirt. And then I'd say right along this hand area too. What am I missing? Maybe a little more around here. All right. We're gonna let this dry for a minute, see how it goes. But right now we're seeing some light and shadow. And I think it looks really good.
Yeah.
Other thing I'm seeing that I missed is this side of the nose is definitely got some shadow to it. All right, the next thing we're gonna do, just to change it up, because this is very much the same color as is the flesh color, and we don't need that. We are going to reach for just our yellow. And that's the color I'm gonna make this grass skirt. I don't wanna make it green just because I feel like this is a little bit different, but we're gonna make it a little bit more yellow. And I'm just gonna paint in straight up yellow into our grass skirt.
Straight up yellow.
And then for mine, it's gonna kind of glaze what's underneath there. If you're not working on a painted page, it just looks like it's yellow. But we're gonna separate the color of the skirt from the skin tones. All right, that looks good. We got some brown hair. And that's very close to our raw umber that we sent this month. So I'm gonna go out the raw umber. And I'm just gonna lighten it a little bit so we can go back in with some dark areas. So add a little bit of white, just a fleck.
And for the yellow, you didn't add white or anything. So it's a very translucent yellow. Is that right?
Very, very translucent yellow. We're just gonna let it dry and see what we get.
Yeah, okay.
It's actually gonna take a little bit more white. It's kind of a milk chocolate for our hair. Need that in.
Well, before we got on today, Alice and I were discussing next month and talking about a peer review night where instead of doing a live stream like this on Facebook, it would be on Zoom and everybody would be able to participate and share their work. And we would be able to kind of just look and see what other people are doing and what certain cool techniques they have and whatnot, and also be able to share our work and get some feedback from other artists in the community. And we were curious to know what you guys all thought about that at home. And if you guys wanted to jump on a Zoom with us, and again, not on Facebook Live, so it'll just be us, and we'll be just, kind of sharing artwork. So
That's
anything
the
else?
idea. It's in addition to everything else we do, but we just want to talk to people and hear what they have to say. Right now I'm grabbing the magenta and I'm just putting a little of that on my palette. We're thinking about adding a little bit of white. But we're thinking about doing it in addition to, and maybe on a Thursday night.
Yes. So something to keep in mind, hit the comment section if you've got any thoughts about it. I think it'd be really cool to get some peer reviews from people who are learning art at the same pace I am, or at the same level that I'm at, that sort of thing. So let us know what you think.
Totally positive, fun night. We get to meet everybody. That's what we're really excited about.
Yeah.
All right.
That's actually, Cheryl wrote in, and she wrote that she would love to be able to hear everyone's voice and just laugh for a little bit. And I 100% agree, Cheryl.
That is exactly the idea. All right. I just want to show, I've moved on to painting the bra top. That's what I'm calling this, bikini top. And this is the kind of, it's always easier to pull a line.
Always.
Than it is to push a line. And this has just a little bit of white in it. And then it's got this kind of fuzzy belt that I'm going to get in. Just like that. And if you think, what might be more fun, not to do it in red, but to do it in blue, do it in blue.
It's your hula, girl.
Yeah. This is the safe space to try all of that. And then the hibiscus in her hair is also the same red color. And so is her lips. And even though I got red on my brush, I'm going to go ahead and rinse out my brush so I can sharpen it.
Yeah. And pull some lines.
And pull some lines for the tiny lips. But we've kind of got the whole thing blocked in now, and I'm seeing that it looks like a dancer. It's looking the way it's supposed to.
Mine too. I like this one so far.
Yeah. Everyone's gonna have a lot of success with this one. It kind of comes together. All right, so I've washed out my brush. I'm squeegeeing it to a point, just like that. You can drop it if you want. That's what I just did. The very tip of my brush, I'm going to fill in the lip shape, and it's just this kind of almost heart-shaped space, just like that. Well, we got just a little bit of paint on our brush. I'm going to go back in with the hair color that we had, and I'm going to do the eyes and the eyebrows. So again, squeegeeing my brush to a tiny tip. And I'm going to paint in, start with the pupils first. I'm actually going to kind of let those dry. I'm going to do the eyebrows next.
My goodness, Allison, yours is looking so great.
Well, thank you. I'm sure yours is too.
I'm falling behind, but I'm having a good time.
Behind her. We just told everybody that.
Right. That's right. That's right. I like to try to keep up with you. I think it might have been Caroline who was sharing that with me. Like, we both like to try our very best to keep up with you, because it keeps us from like spending too much time and obsessing too much about what we're doing.
And I like that, but don't worry too much about it. Like,
right, yeah.
Yeah, you can always go back in. Okay, so then I'm just gonna go. So I've just got a tiny bit of the brown color on my brush. And I'm just going to kind of do these sort of half moon eye shapes over the top. And then come back in underneath and do kind of the bottom of the almond, just like that. And then we've got little nostril marks for underneath the nose. Don't worry too much about them. That's where your nostrils go.
Patty just logged in. She's a little late, but she's here.
Fantastic. Welcome.
Hi, Patty. You missed a shout out. We shouted you out right at the beginning of our live stream today. Thank you so much for your contribution on our subscriber group.
We love it. And right now I'm just going back in and I'm cleaning up some of the hair. So I don't want the neck to kind of look, I want the neck to be straighter. So I'm going back in with the hair. Just kind of cleaning this up, pulling a few lines. And then the same color is also the color I'm going to use in the grass skirt on the lines. And the way this kind of goes is it's darkest underneath and lightest on top. So I'm going to kind of catch my outlines, but also the lines that are in shadow underneath some of the grass that's on top, straw that's on top. If you go to college in Southern Ohio, you are quickly taught the difference between straw and hay.
Ooh, really?
There's a difference. Hay is green, straw is brown. And
that is interesting.
And I know that, but I didn't. And I was quickly shown the way. It's not hay bales, it's straw bales.
Gotcha. I mean, you don't want to mess that up.
Yeah, no, and I had a lot of fun going to college in Southern Ohio. So, certainly not knocking it when I say this. One of the added bonus is you get to know stuff like that. So basically, I'm filling all this in, and then I'm going to go in with my lightest white on top of this when this dries. But all of these areas that are kind of in shadow, I'm putting in right now.
Cheryl with a little pearl of wisdom again. She said that it says that hay is for eating and straw is for bedding and scarecrows.
I think she's exactly right.
As usual, that's
Cheryl from Indiana. She knows. And I didn't. So. All right. And then this base is for the most part this brown too. So I'm going to go ahead, kind of a wash, really loose. Paint in the space.
Cheryl said she's a farmer's wife.
That's right.
There in Long Beach, California, there's a Polynesian museum. And
I'd love to go.
It's really cool. It's really, really cool. And when I went in there, it was like a rainy day and it was a weekend and I really wanted to do something interesting, so I went over there and I got an entire history about hula and how it's different on all the islands, right? So if you see a lot of fire in the hula, that's from the Tongan people. The Tahitian, they they mimic the waves of the ocean, and so it's kind of like the more sexual one, you know, if it looks kind of sexy. And the Hawaiians are known for their excessive use of hands in their hula.
Oh, things I definitely didn't know.
Yeah,
And I'd love to go to the Long Beach Polynesian Center.
it's really cool.
And then the last thing it looks like we haven't filled in yet is this little cuff, and that's the lightest thing. Maybe it's made of shells. I'm just gonna kind of put that in with some straight up white. Can be anything.
Yeah.
And so let's just take a look at what we've done so far here. We've painted in our whole dancer.
That was fast.
There, she is rendered. We did it in about 20 minutes. 20, 30 minutes, we'll say. We got started right away. We mixed all our colors. So the question here is, what improves my painting at this point? And I'm gonna hit my darks, my darkest darks, just a little bit harder. And the way I'm gonna do that is I'm just gonna take a little bit of my raw umber mixture. So that has a little bit of white in it. Doesn't have to. And I'm just gonna mix that into what I had my medium brown or my medium flesh tone.
Can you bring your palette over to the?
Yes, so that you can see what I'm doing. So this is what I have left of my medium flesh tone. And I took a little bit of the brown and I mixed it into here. And I'm just gonna hit my darkest darks with this. And I'm actually gonna wash out my brush because I want it to be really clean and pointy for me to get in there. And so I've got this, it's a little bit darker. And so it's my darkest dark. So I want to hit this chin right here. Over here, this part. There's kind of this sort of wedge triangle. Over here.
I was a little heavy-handed on my eyebrows, and my hula looks like Frida Kahlo.
As a gal with a heavier brow myself, I think you did nothing wrong. Awesome. And if you want to clean it up, let it dry. You know the drill. This line right on the edge. This is just a little bit more modeling. This line right here. I'm not gonna do, I could get darker in the eye area, but I'm not going to. And then definitely to kind of separate these feet. Use my darker tone there. I'm going to, yes.
She was commenting that that brows are all the rage right now, and she could not be more accurate. And I wanted to share this. A friend of mine, I've done this a couple times, and it totally works. A friend of mine, one day, she's a hairstylist, and she told me, she said, Hershey, if you want to pay a girl the best compliment ever, tell her her eyebrows look good. And I'm like, in my head, I thought that just cannot be, you know. And sure enough, I've used it before, and girls are just taken aback.
Taken aback by a nice
so much.
Oh yeah, I believe it. All right, so I'm gonna get out my yellow again, and this time we're gonna add some white. Because we want it to be lighter and more opaque. And I am going to go into the grass skirt area and hit all of these highlights.
Nice.
We just made it a little bit more yellow. Maybe it's dyed. But this way it's not the exact same color as everything else. Changed it up a little. And then there's this in the hibiscus, the little bit of that's a yellow. So I'm gonna put that in. This little stripe right here. And sometimes when I get to this point, I want certain parts just a little bit lighter while my paint's still wet. I go in with the white and I just kind of work that into my white that's, or my mixture that's down there. I'm just kind of fold it in.
Which part did you want lighter?
I just want to hit some highlights in the grass skirt. So
Okay.
on top here, because it's kind of dark underneath.
Yeah.
Good question. I'm hitting the lightest areas. And I'm going to use that same white to put some polka dots on the bikini top. Just putting in little dots. Just like that.
This is so fun to paint. You can like getting down in the details of the face.
Yeah, this is a simple, you know, it's faces don't have to be hard. And then we mix up some of this highlight color in the beginning if you still have that. It had a lot of white in it.
Yeah.
If you want to hit just a few highlights in your face. So in this case, it would be kind of the cheekbones right here. Kind of the bridge of the nose, the top of the forehead, the top of the chin, the shoulder.
So cool.
A little bit of glare that comes down here. And then this one on the base of the doll has a little bit of green. Oops, got rid of it. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. I've got my green right here. No need to if you don't want to at this point. To kind of tie it in with the background that I have going on, I just put some green on my palette. I'm actually gonna have a little of this yellow and white mixture I have. Get it going. And that, just because it's kind of in our photo here, I'm just gonna kind of layer in just like this. Kind of texture painting, almost like sponge painting. But for me, that kind of links it to the background. And then if we want to make our part of our red areas a little bit darker, I'd suggest maybe just the straight magenta.
Okay.
A little bit of shadow. So we added a little bit white to this. We don't want them to be too dark, right? Because it's kind of, the shadows are kind of subtle. So I'm just going to take some straight magenta and kind of go in on the underside of this kind of fuzzy area. On the underside of the bikini top area. Kind of back here where they overlap, and underneath like the armpit that catches a little bit of darkness, a little bit of shadow under here. And then kind of, I keep doing that, between the petals and the flower. You can also kind of do the bottom lip too, if you really want to. And I'm gonna call that done, guys.
Yeah.
That's our...
Allison, yours looks really great.
Well, thank you. I can't wait to see yours.
Like, yep, I'll show you mine later.
Go ahead. And then I'm going to just keep, I told you kind of the theme I was going for, where I kind of just had this sort of island vacation progression that I'm kind of playing with. And there we go. And yeah, this is kind of towards the end of mine. So it's certainly not necessarily working in sequence, but that's our dancing, right? Our dancing dashboard hula.
The dancing dashboard hula girl.
The dancing dashboard hula girl. There she is. And there's another one in there too.
Right.
Another one. Well, all right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are painting.
Allison, really quick, Allison, before we go, can we go over the template challenge again?
Yes, the template challenge. It can be anything. It can be this. This was a template. The only thing we're adding or changing this month is to add something else. So if you wanted to say maybe put at least two. So if you wanted to do some starfish with your hula dancer.
Yeah.
All you have to do is share it to the group before the end of Friday, before the last week.
Yeah, Friday the 22nd.
Sometime on Friday.
Yep.
We're gonna pick a winner. We pick a winner every week. And it's you win Starbucks.
There we go.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Allison. Thank you so much for taking us through this drawing today. Yours is beautiful. I can't wait to see what mine turns out once I give it probably about 10 more hours of undivided attention. But I'll see you on Wednesday, and we'll see the rest of you guys on Wednesday as well. Don't forget to post your work to the subscriber group.
Excellent. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.